Hello and welcome to South of King's Landing Explosion Oaks Off Show, where we break down and discuss each and every episode of House of the Dragon. My name's Don Blight. Joining me, Hand of the King, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here to talk about death and kissing.
That sums up nearly every episode of this universe.
This one felt very prominent with those two things.
True. We are talking about Season 3, Episode 6, Faceless Men. Synopsis was, while Rhaenyra and Damon focus on how best to deal with Ormond, tensions among their neglected allies begin to erupt. What did you make of this week's episode, Ash?
Yeah, I think it was another good episode, clearly continuing down the route that was kind of set up last week with Ormond continuing to be a serious threat. We get little bits and pieces of different stories. We had a great moment right out of the gates, a moment that we've been waiting a couple of seasons for. Christian Cole gets killed, and then we just move on. So there's a lot about that character, right? How that character's kind of been treated these last couple of episodes. But yeah, I thought, continuing to set up the conflict between, Rhaenyra and Ormond. And the cracks are kind of showing us Rhaenyra as a ruler, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, it feels redundant at this point. This whole season's just been firing on all cylinders, I feel. So, very good episode again. Love the opening, which we'll get to in a second. And then the rest of the episode was good, but also felt like a lot of still moving things into places for the final two episodes of the season. I feel, ultimately, as you're saying, really showing the cracks in Rhaenyra's, I don't want to say leadership, because she's sort of been set up to fail from the get-go, but just giving us enough time to show the audience of how it all falls apart without it feeling like she was never meant to rule or it's inherently her fault, but showing how, just
everything was working against her.
Wasn't meant to be, I guess, is the way that's all heading. Yeah. Reading again from W Magazine, of course, the number one House of Dragon
recap source
for Explosion Network, it seems. Episode 6 begins with the banger of Pierce. Christian Cole gets exactly what he wanted, death, though perhaps not the way he wanted. Feels unlikely that anyone will write songs about getting shot with arrows before a battle has even begun. The timing of Cole's demise at the beginning of this episode is a bit odd, and it's fairly anticlimactic, not very fitting for the self-proclaimed realm's greatest warrior, but it's apt for the character, especially considering that he grasps Alicent's handkerchief in his last seconds of life. The man died a yearner. I enjoyed the whole setup with the fake out, the people playing dead, the little fight, him getting surrounded, and then him also then thinking he was going to get this big triumph for the last battle that people will sing songs about, which is what he talked about in last week's episode. So that was sort of the setup for his death. I guess it's meant to be anticlimactic because he thinks he's going to go out in a blaze of glory in some epic showdown that people will remember forever.
Well, you think that's what it's going to be in the first moments, He's going to go down fighting, But then everything pauses and he gets several arrows to the body. Yeah.
It's so good, though, just the timing of it. It's like, fine, do battle with me. And it's like, expects to get this, one-on-one, one-on-two, whatever it is, big sword fight, and then just arrow, dead. It's like, nope, you went out like any other piece of shit. You little bitch.
Two things there. I don't know if you noticed, but very much focused on the woman who shot him, who was apparently Alicent Blackwood, apparently a more prominent character within the books.
Yes, I did Google that.
It's very odd that they're focusing so heavily on this interesting looking person.
Because I Googled it, because obviously the camera focuses on her, and I was like, am I supposed to know who this is? And then you Google, and people are like, no, she hasn't been in the show before. But then the fact that they
appeared in the background of episodes.
Okay, but then the fact they prominently focus on her, I'm like, are we going to get more of her in the coming weeks or the last season? Like, what is the,
potential?
Maybe not. I would say R.I.P., but I don't care. Goodbye, Christian Cole.
Also, the little kid leading everybody with his lines, want to build a, I think it was Temple of
the bones, and I don't have enough bones yet, Cole.
Enough bones, yeah. So that's pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
But then he doesn't seem keen on them like cutting down all them men once Cole's dead. You know what I mean? So you got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do.
You need bricks or bones in this case.
Cole's death also proves that Gwen was right in leaving Cole last episode, who quickly made it to Ormond at Tumbleton, where it initially seems like he's jumped out of the frying pan and into the fryer, removing himself from one delusional man only to find himself at the whim of another. Like Cole, Ormond has no plans to lay down his sword, though he doesn't have Cole's same death wish. No, Ormond would prefer to live in luxury and allow underlings to engage in his dirty work, lest Ormond have to subject himself to the sense of common men. Gwen's arrival allows us to learn more about Darren. Up until now, he has played the role of Ormond's mostly silent lackey, but the boy confides in his uncle, revealing that he has been simply acting accordingly as so not to ruffle Ormond's very sensitive feathers. Darren seems to be a sweet boy, likely Alicent's only one. He tells Gwen, "I hate who I am when I'm with him," referring to Ormond, and he seems fairly uninterested in the crown. It's almost too bad, considering Darren might be the most well-adjusted of Viserys' children, and likely the most well-suited for the role. Darren proves to have a firm grasp on the situation at hand. He is surely more self-aware than Ormond, though that isn't saying much. Yeah, that was good to see, I think, because up until now, I guess, we see a little bit of him not wanting to kill that guy, but obviously up until then you would buy that he's sort of aboard most of Ormond's plans, but seeing him talk plainly to Gwen to show that, he's well aware that Ormond's a crazy person.
He's in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy is fucking crazy and I can't leave him because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting color to add to the palette of this character. Like, we've just thought of as, I guess, the figurehead character that Ormond is using to gain power. Even the way that he talks in this episode at the start about be careful who you pick as your hand. It's really important that you get a good one, like, a smart one.
Obviously, he
not like
wants
Otto.
Yeah. And he's like, "What about my uncle?" Otto. That old fool or whatever he says.
That old fool, yes.
Doesn't know he's dead, but yeah, we haven't got word of that.
I'm sure they have.
I thought Alicent.
Alicent sent the body back to
Rhaenyra agreed for Alicent, to send back to Hightower. So you would have thought they would have got word, but I don't know. Probably not.
I would highly suspect Ormond doesn't care.
No, I don't think he would care. Even if he found the letter, maybe he wouldn't have told Darren about it because he knows it would upset him. I don't know. What he isn't, though, is daring, which is why it's ironic that he has been bestowed the title Darren the Daring by his followers. Damon discovers as much when he dresses as a gold cloak and bests one of the members of Ormond's underground ring who have been slaying the guards. And Darren isn't the only one who goes undercover this episode. When a representative for House Baratheon answers a summons to King's Landing by the Rhaenyra, without the head of the house, Lord Boros, in the party, the Queen is extremely offended. To make up for it, the group goes to Tumbleton as a Baratheon contingent to bend the knee to Darren. In reality, they are there on behalf of Rhaenyra to murder Ormond and Darren to put an end to the insurrection. Unfortunately for them, Gwen sniffs them out, while Ormond, for his part, does nothing in an attempt to stop the assassination attempt, aside from spilling his guts all over the table following its conclusion. Shows him to be a bit of an idiot, really. He was so ready to just believe and, has no... also shows the fact that Gwen was the one who was like, whatever the character's name is, doesn't look like this or has whatever color hair. Like, Ormond has obviously shown to not actually have a better understanding of the different lords and ladies or what have you of Westeros as Gwen does.
I don't know if this article is 100% accurate. I don't know if they sent the Baratheons there or Rhaenyra got her people to dress up as the Baratheons.
I don't know.
Because that would have made more sense as to they don't look like the Baratheons.
Because she threatens them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's implied they.
She says, "Take off your belt." So
yeah.
My interpretation was she took their clothing and
then sent them. Yeah, that would make
sent them
sense.
as the Baratheons. Yeah,
yeah, that would make sense.
Because I don't think they would. I don't think the Baratheons themselves would have gone there of their own. You know what I mean? Because they're little bitches.
Yeah, true. That's probably that's a good point. That's probably actually makes more sense. It's the way it all played out. It was also good watching Ormond suffer and
well, when they come in and they're all covered in dirt and probably poop.
Because that would also make sense because Alicent told Rhaenyra.
Alicent told Rhaenyra that he's got a sensitive nose.
Yeah.
Okay. So
no, that would make sense.
So,
but then he nearly
that's what probably gave him the opening. He's like too busy worrying about the smell to think clearly.
Well, he nearly got them all killed. Gwen should just let them, but yeah. Not only does Rhaenyra's plan fail, but also seems to bond Gwen and Ormond further. Ormond even apologizes to his cousin, and while he grants Gwen to leave Old Town, it looks like Gwen will decide to stay up north for a while longer. It does seem that way in, I guess, pity for Darren.
Possibly, or maybe Darren begged him in defensive. Like maybe he's concerned about Darren and doesn't trust Ormond to put his best interests at heart. That kind of thing. So. Because he Ormond pretty much let him. She's like, this random dude comes in. It's like, hey, can you come here? Can you get the would be king to come stand right in front of us so we can bend down in front of you while we're fully armed? It's like not a great thought process,
Not at all. The slaughtering of the Baratheon host proves that Darren has once again correct. He volunteers to Damon was once again sorry. He volunteers to slay Ormond and Darren, and perhaps would have been more successful in doing so, but Rhaenyra rejects the offer. Yes, Damon as always defaults to violence, but thus far, Rhaenyra's tendencies to lean towards passivity have consistently backfired. Perhaps, though, I'm just keen on Damon at the minute. Considering he delivers hands down the best line of the episode, as Manderley mocks the dragon's lack of discernment during the small council with a toss of his cup. Damon shuts up the master of coin and states, "I'll hear no more from those whose greatest battle has been with their own indigestion." That was very funny.
That's pretty good.
Good bit. Just the cup throwing as well. So it was a good bit. Damon also has words with Ulf, who he finds lumbering about King's Landing, despite Rhaenyra's previous insistence that he remain within the confines of the Red Keep. In general, things are not looking great for the Dragon Seeds. Ulf and Hugh spend days watching over Tumbleton, an excruciatingly dull task, and there is also little joy in their off-duty lives. Ulf is prohibited from going to taverns or even showing off his new dragon. What's the point of having a dragon if no one's around to see it, he asks. Hugh, meanwhile, was holding it together for his wife, but when he finally sneaks into Tumbleton to see her, she chides him for abandoning her in order to go claim a dragon. The life of these men has almost completely drained it out of them since they became dragon riders, and while, for the most part, their roles in this season thus far have been fairly inconsequential, it seems like they will eventually snap. Yeah, I feel like they're going to abandon.
I feel like one of these two is going to be a turncoat.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely Ulf.
I don't know. I feel like Ulf is the more obvious one. So then Hugh comes.
You reckon?
I mean, he was in the town making too much noise. All it would take is Ormond or one of the Hightower's finding out, holding his wife prisoner,
captive.
Captive, and then he'll turn sides.
Either way, I don't think either of them are going to be there when they're needed, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're both. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't think either are going to be long for this world.
No. Yeah. Of course, Rhaenyra is completely oblivious to the fact that two of her dragon riders may be on their last legs. She, per usual, has a laundry list of other problems occupying her attention. The Queen once again visits her favourite prisoner, Alicent, to admonish her old friend for attempting to escape. Rhaenyra rightfully acknowledges that she must punish Alicent. Too many people know about the escape attempt, and doing nothing will undermine Rhaenyra's authority. So what does the Queen do? Nothing. Well, not necessarily nothing. She revokes Alicent and Helena's outdoor privileges, all the more necessary now that she knows Helena is pregnant. Rhaenyra tells Miss Arya about this news, and the White Worm lies and denies having prior knowledge, providing some insight into her game plan. It seems the Mistress of Whispers is officially keeping her options open. Rhaenyra really should tell Damon about her pregnancy, as he would likely suggest they kill Helena. This would be right, if not brutal move, but Rhaenyra will likely once again ignore her husband's shrewd tactics. What's up with the Mistress of Whispers?
I don't know. I feel like it's 100% accurate. She's like keeping her options open. Like, while she has full faith in Rhaenyra, I mean, I think there's an element of her where there's like, I better, keep my options open in case things don't work out. And it was very telling, that moment where she tells her, because Rhaenyra, like, outright asks her point blank, did you know anything about this? And she says no. So,
what was the part where she, like,
points out one of the workers is a liar,
something like that, yeah,
thief and a liar. I don't know.
I wasn't sure what to make of that.
I wasn't 100% sure what to make of it either. Because, I feel like that person shows up later in the episode through the streets of King's Landing when Damon is doing the run walks.
Okay.
So maybe she has her eye on her for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was something to do, like that was just a little something to do that'll come back later, or miss something, or yeah.
Because she doesn't get taken out of the episode at any point, you know what I mean?
No. So maybe that'll come back as something, but Alicent assumes it's only a matter of time until either Rhaenyra realizes she needs to take action or Helena dies from malnutrition. Her daughter is not eating out of depression and instead simply sits around working on her needlepoint. It is her prophetic work, which depicts Aemond at Harrenhal, that gives Alicent an idea. She's once again forced to choose between children, and she decides to prioritize Helena and her unborn child. Alicent visits Rhaenyra in an attempt to make a deal, revealing that she believes Aemond is still at Harrenhal and citing Helena as evidence. Now, House of the Dragon has been hinting at Helena's abilities for quite a while now, but this just might be the first time they're truly acknowledged. Rhaenyra fully accepts Helena's designation as a dreamer, and she moves forward with a plan. Send swords and Aemond will flee, but send just one sword with someone he trusts, and he could be captured. And thus, Alicent is set off to trap her son and send him to his likely death. Do we think that's actually going to happen? Or what's the...
I think they'll encounter Aemond. I don't know if they're going to kill him. I don't think she's going to kill him. I think more likely that he will kill her because he's got mummy issues. So.
I mean, he does have mummy issues, but I think he also wants to fuck mummy. So,
yeah. I mean, he wants to keep his options open. To be fair, so I guess we'll wait and see how that pans out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, and the dreamer ability or whatever, these abilities and stuff, it's like an element of the more mystical side of Westeros stuff is not explored as deeply as sometimes I wish it was. Yeah.
I find it interesting because Rhaenyra kind of perked up when she heard Helena was a dreamer.
Well, she believes in the more deep, like, lore of
So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Rhaenyra is right, that she will be keeping an eye on Helena and wanting to have talks with her to maybe pick up things to use for the future,
herself.
Yeah, for her own personal gain, or the kingdom's gain, I guess.
Yeah, the kingdom's. Of course, Aemond is none the wiser of the schemes underway to catch him. He has healed and is ready to find Vhagar. Alice Rivers does her best to prevent his departure. Once again, Alice remains one of the most intriguing characters in the story. She boldly stated her intentions and goals in the beginning of the season, but it seems like there's been a bit of a change in her desires. Is it possible that Alice actually feels something for Aemond? Or has she now set her sights beyond Harrenhal and sees Aemond as a ticket to get even greater power? She presents him with a store of dragon eggs left at Harrenhal by Rhaenyra Targaryen almost a century prior, and speaks of the return of Targaryens to the castle. The two share a moment as Alice suggests a partnership. I will be the lady of the water, and you the dragon lord by my side, which she seems to accept with a kiss. What is her? She's the most. Yeah, she is a very interesting character, but also the most confusing. Because I honestly, I don't know if I believe even what she sold to us in this episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I think hopefully at some point it explains what her connection to Harrenhal is, and like why does she want to stay in this place? Because clearly, like signing up with Aemond, he has grander dreams than just being the Lord of Harrenhal. He wants the throne, so I don't suspect he'll be sticking around if once he comes back to power or whatever. So,
no. Also, the whole I want to see a Targaryen on the throne, and the Targaryens return to power is like,
unless they believe that the center of power should be at Harrenhal. Like, possibly. Forget King's Landing. Harrenhal's where it's at.
Maybe.
Move the capital from New York City to Washington.
Yeah.
That could be the thought process, I guess, possibly.
The rest of the episode is rounded out by continuation of several side stories. We learn that Jane Arryn gave Rhaenyra permission to live hidden in the caves of the Eyrie, but when Rhaenyra sees her sister's dragon and flies off to try and catch her, Jane scolds Rhaenyra. She threatens the girl to remain hidden lest Rhaenyra learn Jace's killer is not only still alive, but is also being granted asylum by Jane. Baylor, meanwhile, is kissing her uncle, Alan, despite displaying some sexual tension with his brother, Adam, in the previous episode. Yep.
Crazy love triangle.
There is a crazy love triangle going on there between uncles.
These two uncles are making out with getting their eyes on their niece while who's just mourning the loss of a husband cousin.
Yep. It's the most confusing sentence in the oh my god. Aegon has seemingly come to terms with the fact that he's a terrible person and opts to embrace his cowardice and head over to Essos. That was funny. Like when he asked Lannister dude. Yeah. It's like and he just like does this bullshit. It's like we don't always people have people say things like we don't always agree with each other. I'm going to Essos.
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm a terrible person too. Great. Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Rhaenyra is still avoiding her son Joffrey and struggling with petitioners, but the worst comes to pass when the Iron Throne cuts her. If her crippling passivity and indecision didn't prove she might not be right for the job, that Omen surely will. Yeah, that was a little moment, but I mean, there's that whole thing where it's like, if you're actually meant to sit on the throne, the swords aren't meant to
hurt you. Yeah,
hurt you. So her getting cut and the fact she hides it is because that would be
be bad. So maybe she's the one who gets rid of all the swords, just to make sure she doesn't get cut anymore.
I mean, she didn't cut herself on any of the big ones. She did it on the actual, just the
ones on the throne.
Ones on the throne. So, but yeah, that's an omen that
Hopefully she doesn't have to become disfigured over the course. Like Westeros.
Finally, Alan is sent to request that Corlys send his Valyrian men to King's Landing to protect the city in the absence of the City Watch. Corlys is still bitter over Rhaenyra's refusal to acknowledge his bastard sons, but Alan rightly points out that it took Corlys decades to do the same. It seems this gets to Corlys as he agrees to help the Queen, but before they can even depart for the city, Ormond's troops attacked the Valyrian army and captured the Sea Snake in the process. Well, I don't know. We don't see him die, so I guess that's the implication that he's been captured, not killed. Because I feel like if they were killing him, you would see him being killed. So.
You would see him being killed because that would be like a shocking moment.
Yeah. I assume they're going to keep him hostage or something.
Yeah. Or question him or something.
Question him.
Obviously, he's invoked by Ormond earlier in the episode as like a smart choice at hand. So
yeah.
Of course, he doesn't realize that Rhaenyra he hasn't been helping Rhaenyra this whole time. So.
No. I mean, at least Adam sort of talks some sense into him, so he might have a little bit more loyalty to Rhaenyra, but we'll see how that all plays out. One moment that's missed from this is actually the Gold Cloaks all resigning, which was as much as Damon attempts to give a big rousing, tell them all they're being little bitches and who's going to protect the city.
You say little bitches, but they were being targeted by everybody, and all these gold cloaks are being killed.
Yeah.
You know, and that could have easily Damon. And the fucking we also kind of skipped over it, but the conversation he has with the character who's working for him, and
yes,
like really intense and like pretty like terrifying. It's like you kill
there's
one
many
of us.
Yeah,
we are number. We are people. You know?
Yeah, we are many.
Like, you'll never be able to stop us because one head dies.
Yeah, 10 more grow.
2 more grow back.
Yeah, some nonsense like that.
Shit like that. So, how are you supposed to fight that?
Yeah.
Especially Damon. This is a guy who just likes to swing his sword and stuff.
Yeah.
Or burn it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now there's 2 episodes left. Any final thoughts before we head into the penultimate episode, which is usually a big one?
No. Well, I think maybe this is the final straw, and Rhaenyra's like, let's go get our guy back. Let's take our dragons and put an end to this bullshit, and then, or it's not going to be a good episode for all callers.
I mean, yeah, I know what's going to happen to Corlys, but the problem is, even though I thought Corlys was acting like a dick, in general, Corlys has always been a good character, so he sort of want to see him good. Another problem with the Rhaenyra is, as much as you wanted to see her get on the throne, the show very quickly has gone, I don't see how this is ever going to work out correctly. But then at the same time, I don't know how anyone justifiably gets on the throne and fixes it at this point, No,
it's really hard for like a political figure to come in and like overcome a massive deficit and like make everybody happy and deliver on all their promises. Unless they're a democratic socialist.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of South of King's Landing. Of course, you can follow us, explosionnetwork.com/follow. You can find all the rest of our podcasts at explosionnetwork.com/podcast. And if you'd like to check out the website, explosionnetwork.com, you'll find many other great news, reviews, and articles over there. We'll be back for 2 more weeks of South of King's Landing, of course, so join us then. Until next time, Council is over, bitches. And you know what else is over? Your life, Christian Cole. Peace.